Ó ṣe Jésù tó fìfẹ́ ládá mi sí. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ló ti kú tí wọ́n ti fi lẹ́múra. Owó olúwàlúwàlú rẹ̀ ṣebí rẹ̀ ló fi lé ládá sí. Lórí ayé Dámilọ́lá, kí ọjà ló yẹ ìtàyà. Whenever you're watching us from, Ọlọ́run tó dá Dámilọ́lá sí, ó dá sí ní pípé ní ènìyàn. Ẹnu bí wà láyé, ẹ̀mí ló ní, kò lè gbá ká fúnra ẹ̀, kò lè gbẹ́sẹ̀ fúnra ẹ̀, kò lè gbé bọ́ọ̀lì ẹ̀. That's why I tell people I don't want to carry my body because I'm still alive. Àwọn àlàyé ènìyàn ló máa yẹ Ọlọ́run lórí náà sọ. Ọlọ́run tó jẹ́ ká máa mí fúnra wa tó ń pa gáàsì wa lára, ká tó máa mí. That's why we say this. We bow down and worship Yahweh. Whenever you are just with glory, hallelujah. We bow down and worship Yahweh. Ẹni tó ń gbọ́ dá sí ló máa ń dá sí. Ọlọ́run tó lè dájá mi lọ́la brown fi tó wá fún èmi àti ẹ lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti celebrate ọjọ́ òbí ẹ̀ pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ báyìí. The Lord is worthy of our praise.
Oh yes.
Let me tell you, whatever time we have today, we're going to use it well. Orin Sẹ̀lẹ̀ kan sọ pé, ẹ jẹ́ ká fọ́pẹ́ fún wa fún wa àti fún wa sí àná. Ọlọ́run tí ò jẹ́ kó yá wèrè, Ọlọ́run tí ò jẹ́ káyé fẹ́ bá fún ẹ lóúnjẹ, Ọlọ́run tí ò jẹ́ kó gbé kó sínú ilé, kó wá rán wèrè lẹ́wà, kó lè kó lè bá pé kó ná wèrè lẹ́wà, ayé wèrè àwọn ìlú sọ pé wèrè ìdúpẹ́ o, ọ̀pẹ jì, ariwo sọ́kè fẹ́. Ìdúpẹ́ o, èmi dúpẹ́ o, èmi kan ìfọ̀bà ọ̀pẹ.
Òṣùpá nínú ìmọ́lẹ̀.
Òṣùpá
wà nínú ìmọ́lẹ̀. Ìyá lára lórí jọ́ni ọ̀yí. Ọba ọ̀run ló fi ránṣẹ́ àwọn áńgẹ́lì yọ. Ọyọ́ nínú Kristi, àwọn áńgẹ́lì yọ. Ọyọ́ nínú. Good evening, my Obodo fam. How are you guys doing? You're welcome. I hope you're enjoying the music. Oh dear. I was just using it to wait because my guest is having some connection problem. Hopefully her connection will be good. Can you guys hear me? Yeah, I believe you can hear me because if you heard the music, then you should hear me. Eh? You can hear me, right? Yeah. That music is so uplifting. It's harmony. His name is Moses Harmony. Very powerful praise worshiper. Very, very powerful. His voice is thunderous. And I tell you, I don't know how many of you guys know him. This guy is very, very big, but you should see him big body. If you see him jumping, you will be say, Baba. He can jump. He knows how to jump. The guy can praise. Oh my God. If you listen to him, I tell you, dance away all your sorrow. There's nothing as uplifting as worship. Praise and worship is very, very uplifting to the soul, to the spirit. Talking to the Christians in the house now, if you're a Christian, you know how to praise and do worship. Oh, every sadness will disappear. Oh, yeah. Good evening, my people. I salute you now. You're very welcome to tonight's stream. Okay. Thank you very much for being here. And please subscribe if you have not yet done so. If this is your first time on this platform, please subscribe. Hit the like button as you're coming. Give this video a thumbs up. And of course, your notification gives you notification whenever we are live. Balaji, how are you, my brother? So glad to see you tonight. Thank you, everyone. I welcome you to tonight's stream. You're very welcome. Yeah, yesterday was fun. We had fun on that show. I rewatched the show and I laughed and laughed and laughed. I almost fainted. I was laughing at myself. Sometimes it's good to laugh at yourself, honestly. I laughed. I couldn't believe it was so funny the way we're talking about that guy, Bogri. So we are back to the serious stuff again tonight, guys. Yeah, we've taken enough time off since last week. We've not done this one. So yeah, let's get back to the serious business. Yeah. Uh, my guest is still not in the studio yet. I don't know. Seems like her connection is having problems. I'm going to have to find another way to be creative about this because she is still not here yet. I tried to delay, but unfortunately, I think she's having some connection problem. She's in Canada, by the way. Any Canadian in the house? Any Canadian in the house? Holla if you are from Canada. Oh, Allah, Allah, Allah. If you are from Canada, yeah, you're welcome. So no, I can't see you, my dear. Lily, try again. Try again. I can't see you. Oh dear. Okay. If you can't get in, what we'll have to do is that I have to just try and be creative around it. Try again. Use this link. Just use the link and see if you can get in because I can't see you. Lily, can you hear me? Yeah, I want to just take a minute to thank all the women that are supporting other women in the various Obodo groups that we have. I want to thank you guys very, very much for all that you are doing. My heart is so glad because, like I always say on the show, I can't do it by myself. All we need is a little kindness, a little love, a little compassion, and we can make the whole world, we can make our community better, safer for everyone. All we need is just love. I say that all the time. So yesterday, as you know, we are preparing to go to Germany to go and visit Aduke. And she told me of this amazing lady in Germany, a member of the group, that has been friends with her. She's gone to see her. She's even visited and spent a few days with her. And the lady said, "Oh, your hair is not looking nice. Okay, let me make your hair." And she took the time out to make her hair. And she stayed in that lady's house. Christiana, oh my God, it really, really warmed my heart. I can't do it by myself, but when we create these groups and you see ladies supporting others like this, oh my God, I was so happy when I heard that. God bless you, Christiana. Thank you so much for doing that. It was an amazing thing for you. Very, very thoughtful of you. God bless you. And also, in the Scotland group, we have a lot of people very active there. And one lady there has, visited Nana, taking her for a drive, just spend time with her, encouraging. This is emotional support. And that's what it's all about. So I really want to thank everybody that is reaching out to, especially the ladies that have been on the show. Because when they've come here, they've come to express themselves, to share. It is not an easy thing. They do need ongoing support. And unfortunately, I can't provide it. I alone cannot do it. That's why we have the WhatsApp groups. And I want to thank everybody that has been very supportive. Okay. Tonight I have a lady. Her name is Lily. Unfortunately, she's having connections problems, so we'll have to do it by WhatsApp because 10 minutes is gone and she's still not here. She's here, but the connection is bad. Lily lives in Canada and she's from Rwanda. Okay. The first time she sent me a message, this is exactly what she said. Hello, Auntie B. My name is Lily and I live in Canada. I recently found your channel and I'm so glad to have your number. I would like to share my story on how mental health and witchcraft is affecting my marriage and also gain some insights onto what to do because my situation is very confusing. Thank you so much and God bless. I then went on to follow up and, we had a very lengthy conversation. And my people, you will not believe it. This young lady actually married a man who suffers from serious mental health problems. And she's come here to talk to us about it. But most importantly tonight, what I want you guys to take away from this story is the impact of childhood, the way children are raised. What they see is what they become, or worse, it affects them. So the husband is not a bad person. He's very, very brilliant, she said. But he grew up in a very traumatic childhood because his mother passed away very early. Yeah, so it's the impact of the upbringing that really, really affected him. And, in later life now that he's now suffering from serious mental health. And so we're going to be talking about mental health and, all those juju and things like that tonight. Lily, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, I did try to add you on the studio, but your connection is not good, but we can do it like this. So as long as you can hear me, we are fine. Okay?
Okay.
Are you all right?
Yeah.
Are you okay?
I'm okay.
All right. Can you guys hear her, please? Confirm, because she's not in the studio, so it might be a little bit faint. I'll try and move you very close to the mic. Can you hear her? Okay? Yeah, you can. They can hear you. All right. Welcome, Lily.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for being here. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling okay.
All right. Good. Right. We are just going to jumpstart now because we spent some time already while we were waiting for you to connect. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Lily, and why we are here today. A little bit about your background, your situation. It's a very long story, but try to focus on the most important bit of it. And yeah, the floor is all yours, my dear.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for this time. I live in Canada. I was born in Rwanda, and I came to Canada about 2012. I was a student. Before I came, I had made...
Sorry, Lily, can you speak a little bit louder? Your voice is very, very soothing and calm. Which is really good, but maybe if you can just move closer or speak a bit louder into your mic so they can hear you. Okay?
Okay. Is this better?
She's not the sort that can shout, my people. I have a mic, she doesn't, so yeah. All right.
Is this better?
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so I came to Canada in 2012 to study study. And before that, I just like 2 years before that, right after high school, I met with the person who later became my husband, and I met with him back home still. I was just getting ready for, getting ready to start my university. And we normally like have after that, he insisted that we meet. But my family is like very, very like Christian, and my mom is a pastor. So I was so reluctant to go out because I had never gone out with anybody. Like, it was just new to me. But after he insisted for so many days, I decided to maybe just let me go.
Okay, let me summarize that bit. So you met him, you are this Christian girl from a very strict Christian background. Your mom is a Christian, your family is Christian. You met this guy, 9 years older, and he was asking you out, and you'd not dated anyone before, but eventually you became friends. And that was before you left Rwanda, before you came to Canada, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Did I get it right? Yeah?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
And so shortly after we met, I told my mom, because I'm always very open to my mom, but my mom just didn't find it, she didn't like the idea, because she was like, right now you should be focusing on the next thing, which is your school. Like, it shouldn't be, no relationship should be starting now and all that. But what really made her to be concerned is that this guy now insisted to come to he's immediately said, I want to get married to you, you are the one, and all these kind of things. And he now insisted to come to my house and to talk to my mom about it. So I just didn't think it was right. I just told him, how can you be so free with my mom? Like, we are an African home, you just can't walk into your if it's your in-laws, even, like, there's a process for that.
So he was confident, and he walked straight to your mom to say, listen,
Yeah, he was
I'm going to marry your daughter. I want to marry your daughter. He was very, very confident.
He came like one evening, and then he just went straight to my mom, and that threw my mom off immediately. She just told me, like, she immediately told him, oh, forget about that. She has to go to school. Our plan for her is for her to go to school and finish school first.
Right.
Not to get married.
Yeah.
And she will probably go abroad. So forget about this. So
Yeah.
when she told her that, she told him that, I think he took it as an opposition. From there on, he has never felt like he's supported. He took it as like, I have to fight against this, or like it's me against them,
right,
or something.
So, but when you went to, how long was this before you went to study in Canada? When you met him?
It was just like a year and something before I went.
Okay, so after that you traveled abroad to study, and then what happened when you got in contact with him again from Canada?
Because my mom wasn't supportive, I actually wasn't happy again about the relationship. It started being like on and off. So by the time I I reached in Canada, we were kind of off. I just was like, my mom is not supporting, nobody's supporting me, and I'm even away. So by the time I was in Canada, we weren't together until like 2013.
Right.
I just reconnected with him because we had numbers with each other. I just talked to him. I said, okay, I think you are a good person. I'm ready to follow the relationship, because he had told me a lot about, what he wants in a family and everything. So it aligned with what I wanted.
Right.
I said, I'm not gonna just give it up. I'm gonna give it a chance. So I reconnected, but shortly after, he now told me that he was sick, so he had some joint issues. So that really happened right like a month or two after we reconnected. So I was like, what is this? He went to India, got treatment and all that. So 2014, I went back home to see him because he was very sick. And at that time, it caused a lot of conflict in my family, because my mom was like, no, you can't go to see this person, because my mom is in the US. So she was like, we are not there. Like, why would you go to Rwanda alone? We are not there.
Did you ever find out, Lily? Did you ever find out why your mom was so against the relationship? Did you ever find out from her? Did she know anything?
She always told me, I just have a gut feeling that this is danger. That's what she always told me.
This is danger.
She always said it always makes her afraid whenever she sees him or something.
Your mom said she had a gut feeling that this is danger.
Yeah, she she never said anything. She said, I can't say what it is, but it just makes me like cringe or something.
Yeah.
That's what she said. So to me, that was kind of broad. I just didn't, because there's nothing to point at.
Yeah.
So I'm very I always want a reason. I always have to have a reason before. So I was asking her, give me the reason or whatever. But I also was getting very funny dreams about him. And when I tell my mom, she would just tell me, it's clear, you are seeing it now. It's clear. And I would just sweep it off and go on.
Okay.
So,
let's fast forward to when you were the one that brought him to Canada, right?
I just helped him in filing, but other things like the finances and whatever, he did some of it.
Yeah.
I just guided him on how to go about it.
So if I want to summarize that bit, because we are still spending time on how you met now, and there's a lot to cover. Sorry, I'm rushing you a bit, but because of time. So after you visited him, he was physically ill. He's been to India and back. And your mom is still kicking up against this relationship, saying, Lily, you can't marry this guy. I have a very bad feeling about him. Okay. But you said there was no tangible reason. She wasn't pointing at anything. It was just a feeling, her instincts or her intuition as a mother. So, and you are a very logical person who wanted like some physical evidence or something to be pointed to, which was not there. Was he treating you well when you were dating?
Yeah, he was treating me very well. He was always there for me whenever I needed him.
Yeah.
Like there was nothing.
Yeah.
Very, very dramatic. We were always, but one thing that he was always pushing for us being like, he was saying he's a Christian, but I could feel that some of the Christian values, he did not agree with them. So that was a little bit problematic.
So, for example, what was he pushing for that was unchristianly of him? For example,
he always believed that people should sleep together before marriage and all, and that was against my value. And
I see.
that was my first thing.
Yeah.
But he had I could see that he's not doing it just because I refused it. But
Yeah.
if I had allowed, he would have
Yeah.
done it. He didn't see any problem with it.
Yeah. So he was a Christian, but he didn't believe in he didn't believe in post-marital sex. He wanted to have sex before the wedding or before you got married. Okay, which is very common anyway. So it's not just him. It's not right, but you find that a lot of all these brother, oh yeah, even pastors, you'll be shocked what goes on in that area. Okay, Lily, what happened
Yeah.
when your husband got to Canada after you filed for him? He paid for it. You told me he was doing well for himself in terms of work, studies and everything in Rwanda before
Yes.
he got to Canada. Did you know anything in his family that there was mental illness in his family that is hereditary? Did you know anything about his family background?
Well, he only brought me to his family just, for dinner, I didn't know, like, I didn't do any research on his family.
Mm,
But later on, when things started getting bad, I overheard, I think one of his aunties saying that there was one cousin that was on medication.
right.
Um, and I just didn't know, like, yeah, but I think there was one person that I know that it's not showing, but the auntie just said something concerning medication on this person.
Yeah.
So I can't thought maybe it's in the family.
Yeah. Okay. So there's some history there of mental illness because whether we know it or whether we believe it or not, mental health can be hereditary. Okay. And on this occasion, I would say, like what you said, that you didn't do any checks. Normally, it's not you that should have done the check. Parents, I don't know how it happens in Rwanda, but in Nigeria, it's the parents that normally do the checks. But again, because your mom didn't support the relationship and she was practically warning you against it. So she would have been in a better position to ask her family in Rwanda to do it. Yeah, Monilola, you said research is key before starting a relationship. Okay, that's completely correct. You said that when your husband got to Canada, the minute he arrived, you noticed that he was agitated. Tell us from when he arrived in Canada. Pick it up from there and just, lead us in the story
Yeah.
from there. Mm.
Yeah, when he reached to Canada, he was immediately. I went to pick him. I went with friends to pick him, and he was just the first thing you could see. He was very, very thin, like very thin. I think I don't know how if he had eaten in how many. Like I don't know. Maybe had gone without food for many days, but before came to Canada, he had had like a stressful work, so he used to be a workaholic a lot. So I think that contributed. So now he came, and I could see that why is he looking pale and like so. And then I was like, he's not focused. Like that's the next day because I brought him into a family friend where I was living. They were like my parents, so they hosted him. So, okay, he showered, he ate, but in the morning, I just thought, okay, maybe now he's rested, he's going to look refreshed. But I would sit there, try to talk to him. I could see that he's not really there. I'm like, how come? Like, this is different from what I know. You're a very attentive person, but you look so distant. So a day later, I brought him in his house where I had booked him a room. So in there, immediately, like he started questioning everything in the house, fearing every little, like all the decors were like, oh, why is that there? Why is that there? Like because there were Arabic people in there, I started saying, oh, maybe they are doing something in that pot there or something. And I was like, how can you say that? That's just a decor.
So
And
he started to exhibit some symptoms of mental health illness.
very paranoia. That's what I can call it.
So
it was just
yeah,
everything.
okay, right. Tell us. I've heard the story before anyway. So tell our audience a little bit about how the dating period was and how the marriage happened, because you told me something very significant, my dear. You said that even the day that you guys did your wedding, your husband was suffering from some episode of, the mental health thing was affecting him. On the wedding day, gong gong gong. Sorry, that's gong 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 means, that day. I get carried away when I'm talking. I forget that you're not Nigerian. Mm-hmm.
So that was like 2017. So I kept, because the plan was for him to come, be in school, we gather money, and then we go back home, we do the wedding.
Right.
So that was plan. So for immediately, he seemed to be thinking that immediately he gets here and we move in the same room or in the same house and we just. So when I refused that, it even intensified the whole paranoia, because he thought that people were stopping me from marrying him. He just had also insecurity a lot, and he never voiced it out. So I told him, okay, let's prepare for the wedding. Fast forward, we didn't get married the moment he got there. We actually got married 2019 after I finished school, because one of the things also was that my mom told me to finish school. I can never get married before. So I kept pushing for that.
Okay.
So I thank God that I pushed for that. And after finishing school, I just, in the middle of that, he had been hospitalized because he had an incident in church, and we had to go with an ambulance, and they couldn't get anything wrong with him. So they said this is a psychological thing.
What happened in church? Lily, what happened in church that made him, because you said he was hospitalized. I'm really sorry. I know this is very difficult for you to recount. And this is a man that you loved. And even against family advice, you went ahead to marry him. So that means you really loved him. But he was sick. And that's what I want us to take away from here today. You won't, with mental illness, and I thank God there are some mental health people who have a bit more knowledge about it than me here. Maybe we have some mental health professionals here. When somebody is sick physically, they don't go and marry. Okay, but increasingly we see that people who are mentally ill are getting married. In your own case, it's different because your husband's own was clear. He was out there. He was having episodes. Okay, he was hallucinating. He was having paranoia, seeing things that were not there, and things like that. But if somebody was dying, for instance, and had, God forbid, cancer, they will not be thinking of marriage. They will be thinking of getting well. Okay, but I find that a lot of people who are sick mentally are always, it's even worse when it's not showing. A lot of very sick people are getting married, and it does cause a lot of wahala, because it's even mental, and it's worse when somebody is mentally ill. They cannot manage their behavior. They cannot manage relationship. It's too much. It's just too much. They need to be well first. I mean, even here, I don't know how it is in Canada. Somebody that is mentally ill cannot get married, because you need to have the capacity to understand the contract that you are going into. So if he was here and somebody is having a mental breakdown, they'll probably not marry you, because they will say he's not capacitated. Okay? But the laws are different in other countries. So what happened in church that made him the church to call an ambulance? They took him to hospital, and then mentally he was admitted in a mental hospital later on.
Really, from the time I brought him to church, he used to say, "Oh, I can see things coming from the pastor," or things like, he always said that. So one day we were just seated in church, and he now started grasping for air as if like he can't breathe. So I was like, what's going on? So they escorted him just like next, in the foyer. So they started looking at him, what's happening, but he couldn't breathe really properly.
Yeah.
So I just called the ambulance. So for me, I thought it was something like maybe some kind of sickness, but they did all the exams and found every other thing was blood test, everything was perfect.
Yeah.
So that's how we ended up in the psychological part of the hospital, and after that place they now transfer him in the mental hospital, and there they gave him a few medication, and he spent there like just a week, and he was just again himself again. But he always denied. He always said he knows what is happening to him. He used to just say that it's coming to him, that he hears them saying what is going to happen to him, and that it happens the next day. Things like that, that there are people who are sending him that. But also something that was strange is that 90% of everything he said that I was sending him, he now directed that to the people who were close to me that I introduced him to. He started saying that that's the people that are sending them to him.
Sending what to him?
These people don't know you.
What are they sending to him specifically? Like what?
That they have witchcraft, that they have demons, that they are sending to him.
Right.
And I'm like, people don't know you. These people were waiting for you, because I had many people very, very close to me, and they always were prepared to love him as they loved me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, these people, why would they hate you just as a sudden?
Yeah, it's the illness. It was the illness. So when Lily first told me the story, the thing that shocked me the most in this story, and that's why I believe that she loved him very much, against all odds, this man was like mentally very sick. You can hear what she's saying. He was saying people are sending things to him. They are sending this to him, sending that to him. And he was in denial. And this also happens very, very often in our community. A lot of Black people do not honor. You see a Yoruba person, before you even say good morning, they say, I'm depressed. I have depression, I'm bipolar. They are very open about their diagnosis. They will tell you. Okay. One day I'll do a show about, how open this Western world are when it comes to illnesses, whether mental or not. They will say it. They will say, I suffer from bipolar, I'm on medication. They will tell you. But our people, we are always in denial, even when someone has a formal diagnosis. Like your husband was saying that he's not mentally ill, that is witches and wizards that are chasing him, that they are sending things. And I'm not saying that they are not witches or no wizard. I will be the first person to come on this platform and say that, black power, satanic power is real. Okay. Witches, wizard, and all that black juju, whether you want to acknowledge it or believe it or not, until they flog you, then you will know it's real. But this is a man that was clearly suffering from mental health, and he didn't accept. Okay. But Lily said she went ahead to marry him. Okay. So he was admitted and discharged, and you carry on with dating. And you also said that he wanted to have sex, which we're not ready to do as a Christian.
Yeah, he kept pushing for that. It was always a battle, but he was like, okay, I will wait until marriage or whatever. So yeah, so fast forward, many things happened. I left and then came back, because he now immediately he would just do weird things. Sometimes he would just enter into like a fast, and it would be like a long fast. And I'm like, how can you work? You are not physically. At that time, he wasn't really strong. You could see he wasn't like a big guy. He was just whatever he was suffering from home, he hasn't recovered physically from it. So I was like, how can you take this dry fast just like that when you are even working? So every time I predict that, I would just say, this job is going to go, because one of these days you won't be able to go and you will lose the job. And that's what happened, because he wouldn't have the energy to go 1 or 2 days, and then he got fired or something. So one thing after the other, but also doing school wasn't working well, and it was really in the plan that we do school, get funding, as everybody else do, right? So it just wasn't working out, because every time we do something, he will have like a break for like 3 months. because he will stop the medication and then something will happen.
That's another problem there.
months.
That's the problem there.
Yeah.
Because he didn't believe that he had mental health issues, he was not sticking to his medication routine. So he will get ill, he will take medication, then he will stop. Then he will have the breakdown. And as a result, according to what you said, Lily, please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. You said he couldn't hold a job and the plan to go to school did not work because of his sickness. He was ill. So he will start a job and they will fire him because he cannot go. But he still was resisting treatment, saying that, he's not sick. Okay, go on, my dear.
So later, before we got married, because I had just separated, I said, it's not going to work, but the history was there, that how we came a long way, all that. And one day, like, we just went, we were just visiting we visited a pastor, and the pastor was like, what are you both? This is my attendant. Okay, you guys should get married and all that. And for me, I was praying at that time to know the direction, and I just took that as the sign that things will go well. So that's how I decided now to get married. He wrapped everything, blocked friends from coming from the wedding, because he used to think everybody is sending him things. So in the wedding, it was actually me and him and just a few people, not any of my friends. And
your mother didn't come. Your parents didn't come to the wedding.
She didn't, because she was not in the country, and the thing was just prepared in like 2 months.
Okay.
So he couldn't come. And
somebody is asking a very important question here, Lily. You said, could it be that you actually felt sorry for this guy? I'm assuming that you loved him. Is it a combination of love and pity, or did you feel sorry for him? Or I mean, people are trying to understand. Was it like you felt sorry for him, that's why you married him?
I think that was part, because every time I would just feel like, how is he going to survive here? Like, we are just international students, we have to, everything depends on us being students. So I used to feel like I'm better off because I was finishing school, like finished with school. So if I leave, I encourage the whole thing of him leaving the good job. Now he's here. If I leave him, like, what becomes of him? So part of it, I would say, some part of like, I have to stick around to get to the next level. I can't just leave him. Like, we should be in it together on something.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, to be faithful, you can't just leave him. He's in a vulnerable place. How can you see him in a very vulnerable place? And that's the time that you are going to leave.
And so you were doing meeting with yourself. You were having these conversations with yourself. And you decided to go ahead with the marriage. That was a very, very, I'm not judging you. I'm not trying to condemn you. It is what it is. But ladies, please, when somebody is sick, I beg you in the name of God, like somebody rightly said here, you can help from a distance. Oh, help him as a friend, help him as, someone you've dated. Please do not marry somebody that is mentally ill. It is not discrimination. It's just not workable. It doesn't work. It doesn't. You might think that, like Lily was saying, how will he survive the international student? You could have still helped him without marrying him, because this is your life. You don't gamble with your life. So let's take that lesson from this, Lily's experience, because it's all about learning while we are sharing these stories. And that's why I pause regularly when, my ladies are sharing, to bring out the lesson. Please don't marry somebody that you suspect they might have even undiagnosed one due to behavior. I said to one of the ladies that came here last week, because the husband contacted me. When he finished ranting and talking to me, I called her and I said, hey, this man you married, do you know it's likely that he's suffering from mental health? She said, hey, Auntie B, I thought so. I said so because his behavior is not normal. There are so many people that have undiagnosed mental health. Don't do it. In Lily's case, she knew, but she did it out of pity. No, I don't think you should do that with your life because it's serious. It has a lasting impact on your life. Don't marry somebody because of pity. Okay, you are not their father, you are not their mother. They are an adult, especially if they are not going to engage in treatment. You can complicate your own life very seriously by doing that. Okay. All right. So on the wedding day, you said your parents did not attend because there was rush. And then what happened? Tell us a bit more about that wedding day, my dear.
Yeah, the wedding day was just like, I don't know, it was just
The voice has
chaotic,
gone very low again.
yeah, it was very chaotic, and he would say, okay, I prepared this, like some things I told him, okay, because nobody was there, so I would tell, okay, when I'm getting ready, please make sure this is there, this and that. And just things weren't there. I was already frustrated because things were not, first of all, this is not what I wanted. I always wanted to have a big party, to have like, just to have a joyful day, and this was just some little ceremony there.
Yeah.
And then we went there. There was, there was an officiant, so we had it, but I could just see like he wasn't just himself. And later on during dinner, he would just shake, or like was just like he would just shake or something. It was just like a physical manifestation there. And so because there were two pastors there, they started praying. Now he will pray, he will be like shaking, he will be like so dramatic, like, and me, I was just seated on the side observing everything, and the thing was not going. I was just shaking for hours and hours. So when they were tired now, we just had to leave.
Was it physically shaking? You said he was shaking. Was that like a physical thing?
Yeah, he was shaking. He would just like the head would be like this when they started praying. So it was just like, what is this? Like he just couldn't control his behavior that day, like physically.
Right.
And like, what is happening here?
Was it a church wedding? Hey guys. Can you guys hear me? Hello? I'll be like, this one is not working. Hello? It's echoing. No, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Mm-mm. A final, I don't know what else to do, guys. All the enemies of our progresses. They are happy now. All our enemies of progress, they are happy. That the people that are not happy with what we are doing on this platform. One man Dubai, they will be celebrating now. Ọlọ́run mú wọn. Ẹ lè dáṣẹ́ Olúwa dúró. You cannot stop the work of God. We move. Hello, Lillian. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
There's some serious audio problem we've been trying to fix, but the devil is a liar. You came here to get help, and by the grace of God, we'll do everything we can to help you.
Amen.
Right. Okay. So let's fast forward to after the wedding. You said that where you stopped was that even though he was not able to hold down a job, he was mentally ill, and school was not working, but he was very, very active in the other room. I don't know if you know what we call the other room. The other room is the bedroom.
He was always pushing for intimacy all the time. I don't know if he was addicted to that. I don't know. But he was just always pushing for that, and it came with manipulation sometimes, reminding me how he waited all this time, basically making me feel like I was being unfair, and but really I wasn't. With all the issues that were going on, I just wasn't being attracted to him because I was always preoccupied in my mind of what is, how to keep the family and all that. It was just too much for one person.
Yeah.
And he was not giving any emotional support to me. So all that I carried myself.
But
and
that,
he didn't understand.
but
how
that
it
was freaky,
affects me.
and you were not in the mood to freaky with him, eh? Lily, you are not nice.
Sorry?
I said, bro, that was very freaky. You were not freaky, eh?
Yes.
Okay. So fast forward.
So that became an issue. It became an issue. I became frustrated, and he was also now becoming frustrated too. So like we now started having fights because like he was making very bad decision with money too. So here and there. We will get a car, he will speed up, and we get a ticket. We will now have to pay a lot, and that was me who was working. So little things like that. We're paying school every term. We're paying school when the school was not going, so that was taking money from the house with no results, and it was frustrating me. I was just becoming an angry person, and I'm usually like very, very happy, like easygoing, but I was becoming angry. Like I just was angry. I had changed to another thing, and I slowly started not even buying anything for myself. I would just wear the same things like months and months. I wasn't, because I was just like, money was going into all those other things. We were not going out. Like it was just like in the house, work in the house wasn't even helping with any housework.
What was his diagnosis? What was the official diagnosis?
It started off with psychosis. Psychosis was they were saying it's not major. But after, like recently, when we finally separated, he told me that this time around, they actually said he has schizophrenia now. So, but where it became bad was violent, and I became also angry. So if he throws something at me, I take again me too. I throw something back at him as well. So I was just not happy with the person I was becoming. Like I was just becoming some other person too.
Right.
And so finally, recently back in March, he was frustrated in the house because we had just had a baby. Like a few months after having a baby, was pushing again with the intercourse and all that. I wasn't ready for that.
So in all this, everything that you were dealing with, you were the only one working. This uncle was sick. Obviously, he's mentally ill, so he couldn't keep a job, and things were bad between you in terms of relationship. And I know we made a joke about, and you people that know me on this platform know that I regularly like to bring humor because the issues are very tense, so we can just laugh. Yeah. But you guys managed to get pregnant in all this going on. And you also said that you had issues with accommodation, because of, one thing or the other, you had to move, and, so you got pregnant and you had a baby.
Yes, because he was always pushing for that. So some days I would do it. So that's how I became pregnant. And so, yeah, we had to move places, and we finally decided, because we always were managing money because I was the only person working and I just graduated. So
Yeah.
I was really not a senior in whatever I was doing. I was just an entry job.
Yeah.
So we ended up being in a place like we rented one part of the house and another person was in another part, and that also was affecting me because I always wanted us to have our own home, but we had to make that sacrifice. So it was always sacrifice, and
Yeah.
it was affecting me. But every time I shouted that I was not doing well too emotionally,
Yeah.
no support was there from his side.
Yeah, but
it was always I'm the one suffering.
he can't support you. He can't.
Struggling.
Yeah, he can't support you because he's not well. He's not well himself.
Yeah.
So how can he support? He needs support as well. So it's just unfortunate that, it was just the two of you in the situation, but I don't think he was mentally or emotionally in a place where he could support anybody, because this man
Yeah.
was very sick. You said they diagnosed him with paranoia initially, but now he progressed and was diagnosed with paranoia schizophrenia. So yeah, that's a very severe mental health illness that and it just cripples your whole life. Yeah, it just cripples your whole life. Yeah, so I want to get to the part where you eventually said enough is enough, because you were married for how long altogether?
2 years.
You're married for 2 years and you were in relationship with him much longer than that. He came to Canada.
Yes.
And then you got married after some time. Well, how did you get to the point where you now said, you know what, I'm becoming another person. This is not working. Maybe I should have listened to my mother. I've had enough. Now you have a child. I've had enough. How did you get to that point?
Yeah.
And what made you take that decision to say you're walking out of the relationship?
Yeah, first of all, when the pandemic was there, so all this again it wasn't easy. But recently, like this year, that's when I was like, okay, can't continue because the issue of pressuring me for sex all the time, and I said I just had a baby, like I just don't know, I don't feel right, like I just don't feel, I can't force things. And then he now went into watching pornography in the house on a loudspeaker for me to hear. It wasn't even hidden. He wasn't even hiding it from me.
My people in the comment section, Obodo fam, please give this video a thumbs up, because we are learning. This is mental health, and as usual, there's a lot to learn, because we are, as Black people, very, very dangerous illness, and it's very, very prevalent in our community. And what I want to find out, for those of you who have some experience about working in mental health, is there something about mental health that makes somebody to be looking for freaky like this? Because he said the man, even after she just had a baby and things were so bad, with all the hearing voices and everything, he still want to freaky. Is it related? Is there something about the diagnosis that makes somebody to be freaky? Or this was just, I don't understand. Because you said that you were resisting.
Yeah, I just was like, how can I be patient with you in every area of your life, and you are not patient with me in this one area? When I do everything, I make meals, clean, everything was always good, but like you can't be patient with me with one thing. So I just couldn't get it, and so he started watching those things. It was against, the thing is, people watch these things, but it was just against my spirit, my value and belief. I don't believe in watching that. It was dirty to me. I'm like, I can't be in a house where these things are being aired in the house. Like to me it sounded like the devil is in my house. Like I can't. This kind of thing I can't coexist with this. And then he also started also texting my friends, like if there is a problem, like if my friend said something about him, like asking me about him, on my messages, because he used to see my messages. He will now go and now start asking advances from those friends. And then if I ask him, he will say, I wanted to show them that I'm really crazy. Or like things like that, just to really pierce my soul. And then he disconnected me from all the social, because he knew social, I feed from the social, it make me thrive. So he took that away from me. So I was alone, and the few friends I had, he was just talking to them inappropriate.
So he was still able to
to
control you with all that. He was still able to tell you not to go on social media.
He was telling all the friends that they are sending him things. So he will just
Facebook is sending him things.
Sorry?
He said Facebook is sending him things.
No, my friends, he would say something negative about them, that we should not hang out together, or he would just make it weird. So I would just disconnect altogether, because it was painful to see how, with other people, how things are just not right. And the last thing really that made me draw the line was when he now said one day he had some call from home. I don't know who frustrated him. And then he now came and said, today you are going to do what I want in terms of me being intimate with him. If you don't, he now took a stick from the toys, from the child's toy, and said, this is what I'm going to be using. From now on, this is what's going to happen. I've tried being friendly. Now it's going to be by force now. And then I said, no, it can't be, because I used to talk back to him. I was at that point where I used to talk back, and I said, no, I won't. And then he now came.
It's not your parents. You can talk back.
Yeah.
It's your parents you don't talk back to. Your husband, you are meant to have a conversation. You don't keep quiet, because it's your parents. African parents teach their children not to talk back, but not husband. So it was becoming, dangerous now for you, because he was becoming violent
that day. So I said, I'm going to call the police. I don't want to call the police on you, but if you do this again, I'm going to call the police. He said, you can call them. They know that this is your responsibility, that you to be with your husband and all that. I said, I'm going to call the police. So I called them. They came, they asked me. They even found him, was just seated in the kitchen. He had packed his bags, ready to go.
Yeah.
Then
I struggle to criticize him, because ordinarily I will criticize a man that will say, this is your responsibility to sleep with me, especially when he's jobless and he's not paying any bills, he's not contributing to the family. He's not doing anything. He just literally came from Africa and became like a leech on you. But I can't do that, because this man is not well. So his illness for me is the reason for his behavior. So I just cannot in good conscience say anything about this man. Even if controlling.
But also, he had started some kind of medication, because I actually told him, you have to start medication. Before we separated, I told him, you have to take medication. So that medication made him even made things even. I don't know. He was not himself after starting that, but I think it wasn't right for him. But later they changed a medication, like when he was gone, because we kept talking and God told me I'm out and all that. But he's no longer like the way he was with that other medication. I think that's something that also I wanted to put there, that some medication can be very, very bad, but it's not all of them.
Yeah, okay. So you decide that this was it, that you couldn't anymore. Those were the things that made you say, okay, you've had enough. So how did you get out eventually?
So that day they came and took him away. So what I told them, I just don't want him to come back to me. That's the only thing I'm asking you. I don't want him to come back to the house. So they explained that to him. And when he was released from the hospital, he still had that limitation of not coming. But in the meantime, I still have my permanent resident application waiting because he had done a lot of, in all these things, behavior issues.
Yeah.
He really got involved in arrest and all that, and we had to disclose that. And I put him as my husband, and one of the rules is that you can actually become ineligible if you have an ineligible spouse.
Yeah.
So that had been very, very hard. And I said to him, with all that I put on the line, this is how you treat me. So that's when I started to say, I can't do this anymore. I've even sacrificed my own paper. I don't know why it's delaying. Maybe it's because of the things you've done. Because for me, my background is very, very clean. There's nothing on me. I finished school, started working. There's nothing. And I wasn't understanding why it was taking very, very long. It's been now a year, and normally takes 6 months to, with the kind of like experience, like work experience I had, it normally doesn't exceed 6 months.
Yeah.
So after they took him, I now told immigration about the incident. But still, we are not divorced yet. We are just separate. But I told them about our marital status right now.
Yeah.
In the meantime, he has already also applied for refugee when he came. So I said, thank God that you don't depend only on mine. At least you have yours that you can follow me.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to separate things because it was just being too much. And I was looking at the child. I'm like, if I want to save the husband, but we all now end up with no paper just because I want to save the husband who cannot be saved.
Right. So what was your mom saying about all this now? Is she aware?
I told her, but my mom, each time I walk away from him, my mom becomes happy. She always say, this is the issue. Like, I'm happy. Imagine like an African mom to be happy that you are not in the marriage. Like, that's how my mom is always. Whenever I walk away, she's always, thank God. If you really disconnect with this person completely, I will go in the church and I give a big offering. That's always what she always say.
Yeah. So currently you are separated and you plan to okay, first of all, let me ask you, why do you want to share this story, and what support exactly, or what do you want to get out of this?
First of all, I just want to just make it out there that mental health is very, very, very real, and it just affects people in a very real way, very real. And another thing is that the other person who is supporting you are likely to get into a mental health yourself because of being overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Especially if somebody is not cooperating and doing what they are supposed to do. The stress itself can also make you go into some kind of mental health too, which can become like the one of the other person as well. And also for people to just give me advice on how to go about if really this is gonna really have an impact on my immigration. The fact that, because they told me that I should actually wait a year to file for divorce, but I feel like I should file now, even if it's not going to be finalized. If there's anybody who knows if really that they may consider this, or I just don't know, because I don't hear much from them.
Okay. Do you have a lawyer that's supporting you with the application, your immigration application? I want to believe this is your PR that you applied for, right?
Yes, I have. I don't have a lawyer. I just send everything myself.
Okay. Maybe I think I'm not in Canada. I believe we have some people in Canada. If they are here, I'm going to share my link for people to come and give you advice. I believe it might be worth speaking to an immigration lawyer about this, because yeah, that marriage should not have been contracted in the first place because the man was not fit to be married. It was not fit. If it was a registry or court marriage, I'm sure they would not have gone ahead with it. But because it's a church, the pastors were praying.
It was the church.
They were praying, but the prayers didn't stop him from manifesting.
They went to pray.
Yeah. Yeah, they were praying, but they knew he wasn't well. I'm a bit surprised that the pastor did not advise you. They didn't do counseling for you, because you say you are church people, and you attend a church. They should have done some counseling to know that this man is not fit for marriage. At least they should have allowed him to get some treatment.
Actually, he took me from the church I was in. I was like in a very good church. I was very friendly with them. They always told us wait until you are fit, like, and he just bashed them and just insulted them and just, I don't know how he just managed to just separate me from them.
Yeah,
and found another pastor.
Yeah, he found another pastor.
Even to this date, so those pastors were not
they don't really know your
that we
history.
have now, and the pastor we have now, they're like silent on it. So they don't say you should leave. They also don't say you should stay.
Pastors will never tell you to leave a marriage. That's one thing. Even when you are dying in a marriage, that's what African pastors do. They don't tell people to leave a marriage. That's what women need to learn. But also, what I wanted to take from here before I let you go, I'm sharing my link, guys. Please come into the studio. If this, I hope everything is sorted now with this sound. I'll cut that bit off later so that people are picking it up later. I don't need to have that pause. What we need to take away from this bit of it is that if a man wants to take you away from your church, especially somebody that you do have a voice, okay, ladies, you have a choice. You don't need to present yourself as somebody that has no say in a marriage that you are getting into. I know that all of us are not, women have different personality, men also. Some people are more assertive than others. Some people are, they are very, very, like you can tell from her voice, she's a very beautiful girl. Rwanda, you know how beautiful those people are. Very, very beautiful, Eastern European. Is it Eastern European? Am I right?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure? You don't even know which part of Africa your country is. Really?
They say we are Ethiopians.
You look like Ethiopian, to be honest. Looking at your picture, you look like an Ethiopian. Yeah. Beautiful girl. You have a choice on who you marry. He came and took you away from your church. You were, you acted very vulnerable and you just followed and did everything that he wanted. But ladies, it's East Africa. Balaji, thank you, my brother. You have a choice in the person that you married or that you are going to marry. Don't let anybody just pull you and say you have to do this. Because the pastor in her church actually told her that he should be well first. But he said that this man took her away from that church to another church. So while I don't want to really, really say anything negative about this brother, I still feel like he was kind of manipulative. Even with his illness, he was manipulating her.
He was. Yeah, that's something else I wanted to say. Some of them are very calculative and very manipulative.
Yeah.
Inside, other people can see, but inside, there's a way they act innocent, and also they act like it's going to be well. Like they just keep you there, like with promises and all that, but also with when they see who you are, they know which buttons to press.
Yeah.
Because every time that I say no to things or something, he would just say one thing about us, things that he knows that I care so much about. So he's really manipulative. Even in the sickness, he has that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And are you still in contact with him? I'm seeing that you have a daughter together.
Yes, but recently we've not been, because I actually said no, because he was always coming to me whenever there is a need. He will come. Whenever there is a need, he's saying, "Oh, I need this, I need that," because he has another daughter back home. And he would just be, because he knows that I really, really care for this daughter, because I always never wanted to judge the daughter because of the dad. Every time that there is something, he will use the daughter. And recently I said, no, I'm taking care of this daughter here.
Yeah.
You take care of this other one. Do your best to take care of her.
Yeah.
Right now I'm saying no to that, and we've not been talking. So I said, if that's what it takes, fine.
Yeah.
If you don't want to talk, so.
Okay, so I'm sharing my link in a minute, but because of the connection issue, there's a significant part of your story that we missed, and that was about your husband's childhood, or your ex-husband now. You said that his mother died early and he was raised, and this illness is as a result of his childhood, or may have been as a result.
I feel it has a strong connection, because every time, even the voices, some of them, when he tells me what they are saying, it was like people back in, in the village, what they used to say. Like, it's a replay of things.
Yeah.
And he's very, very close to himself, so he doesn't open up a lot.
Yeah.
So when now it becomes a lot, he will just say one thing, but I know he has a lot. So his mom died at around 10, and he used to say that he was like very close. He was the last born. It was like a mommy's boy or something. So after that, he said that's when the love stopped. He has never been loved after the mom died.
Yeah.
That's when life stopped for him. He said that before, even when. So I don't know what has never really told me in details what happened, but recently he had blocked. As a sudden, he blocked all his dad's
family.
His dad's family.
Yeah. You say
everybody.
He was raised by a stepmother, was he?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much, Lily, for coming on the show. Hopefully, those who are listening to this today, they will be able to give you some information and advice. I will talk to you later on. So please log off now. So you log into YouTube and listen. I'm sharing my link so people can give you advice, okay? Look after yourself and look after your baby. I'll add you to the Canadian group later, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you very much for coming. You did very well. You are so beautiful and you're amazing. Don't worry, everything will work out well for you in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Okay, that's Lily from Rwanda. It's good to have a change of ethnic, a change of country for once. All the time, it's always Nigerians we have here. Yes, we are open to all and sundry, as long as you are African or black. You are African, Afro-Caribbean, African American. You are welcome. Everyone is welcome. Thank you so much, everyone. Christine, I see you, and you're looking beautiful.
Thank you. So do you, Sister B. Thank you.
Hello.
Thank you so much for the platform. And I want to commend Lily. She is such a brave, strong, beautiful lady. Lily reminds me of one of the shows on television in the UK called The Undateable. I don't know if anyone has watched that program. It's about where people who have disabilities or mental health, when they try to find the love, go on a date to find the love life, the challenges that they faced. And I think Lily is one of those women who exemplify unconditional love, how you love someone without condition.
Yeah.
Without looking at the qualities they have or their incapabilities. So Lily, you should be very proud of yourself. Is when I listened to what you have to say, I had so many moments when I went, why did you marry him? Why did you marry him? But it's hard to ask those questions, except if you haven't done something that you look back and in hindsight regret, why did I do that? So I think every one of us have at one point or the other done something that we look back and question, how did we get into that position? One thing that is very commendable is the mother's instincts. There are times as mothers that we know that there is something not right, but you can't really place your finger on it. So it's very important that not just as mothers, as Christians, Lily, I don't know what faith you belong to, but I think you talked about Christian values and morals. Yeah. So I think one of the things that we are blessed with as Christians is discerning spirits, because the Bible says that you would have discerning spirits. And when you're prayerfully led, there are times when you feel a sense of unease about something. You may not have the clarity about what it is you're not clear about. But when you have that feeling, I think the best thing to do is to go on your knees and ask God. And there's nothing wrong with waiting. And I think, Lily, it's likely you've asked yourself the question, why did you marry him? But no one has that answer. You've gone past that point now.
Yeah.
And the story you've shared brings about a lot of lessons for anyone who finds themselves in a position where they're dating someone who has mental health or any other difficulty with health or with belief, or even not having, when you're not compatible with someone. Don't go into relationship
Yeah.
except you're very ready. There's
Yeah.
something you said, Auntie B, you talked about capacity. If people have crisis or that stage where they lack capacity, clearly they shouldn't be going into a marriage. Marriage is a contractual,
Yeah.
contractual arrangement or obligation between a man and a woman, or same sex couple, whatever happens, is
Yeah.
contractual, and people should go into it knowingly of the obligation and responsibilities that marriage entails. And clearly, from what Lily said at the time when they were going into this marriage, her husband had breakdowns and
Yeah.
was clearly not with, not able to have consented or understand what marriage should be. But nonetheless, they got married. We've
Yeah.
gone past that stage. My only concerns, having recognized that it takes a very strong person and someone who is genuinely loving, caring, and ready to put one's need first than
Mm.
her own needs and even her parents' fears or her parents' resentments of this man. But Lily sacrificed all of those, misgivings just to make sure that she cares for this person. My only
Mm.
concern is that there are people who we cannot help. Just like the
Yeah.
heading of that program, The Undateable, there are people who are unhelpable. And
Mm.
with all good intentions, there needs to be a time when we appraise our strengths and really prepare ourselves that if you're going to go into this, be prepared that some conditions like mental health can be chronic. Yes, people
Yeah.
go in and out of crisis from the bit I know about health. They go in and out of crisis. They get sectioned, which is really in the UK, we call it being detained under the Mental Health Act. Some people go
Yeah.
into that phase, they get well again, they get released back in the community, but they never have. It's rare that you find those who have a very complete life without chaos. They have this
Yeah.
turbulence. If they live
Yeah.
with families, you have turbulence. It's even more so complicated if they have problems with complying with their medication regime. So,
Yeah.
from what you've said, some of the medications will have side effects, and these side effects are undesirable. It can make people not comply with their medication. And some of them would have some kind of fixations on certain lifestyle behavior. It may well be substance misuse. You would find someone with schizophrenia or psychosis indulging in, cannabis or drugs or heroin. You also have those who would have fixation around sexual activities or even,
Yeah.
inappropriate sexual conduct. And unfortunately, your husband happens to have this kind of, an escapism into this sexual world that helps him perhaps forget what he's going through, or maybe that's just his only solace in life or his only comfort. But he didn't get you to a point where this was mutually, achievable. You were going through so much in terms of paying the bills, raising a child, having just had a baby, dealing with the impact of his mental health, and then having to meet his needs, which perhaps his demands were so inappropriate or very demanding of you. So I recognize
Yeah.
that. But my point, or the little I have to contribute, is that if anyone wants to marry someone who has mental health, please don't do it out of pity, because you may
Yeah.
not have what it takes to sustain the relationship. And
Yeah.
there's a lot to it. And one of the things Lily mentioned is that she heard of her husband's cousin, who is also on medication. It's not uncommon for some mental health condition to be genetic. Yes, we have contributory factors like, trauma, which her husband had gone through in terms of losing a mom, and bereavement is such a very big factor, especially when young people lose a family member so close to them, like a mother, at such a young age. He may,
Yeah.
Africa being what it is, it's likely he didn't have any kind of counseling. He hasn't actually
Yeah.
grieved the loss of his mom. So there are so many, I would say, multiple factors that
Yeah.
could have contributed to the husband's predicament. But Lily, for yourself, you've come along where you've made a very firm decision that by the nature of the kind of person you are, I don't know you personally, but from going through what you've said about how you care for this husband of yours, your willingness to forgo all you can see, the forewarnings, the signs, the
Yeah.
red signs,
Yeah.
the everything that were clear indicators of the trouble ahead, even warnings from your mother. It shows, I would not criticize that. I would only say it only shows, we're Africans, I'm Nigerian, and we call Oyibo people, they love unconditionally. And your love is so similar to that of Oyibo person who goes, I love him, I don't care,
Yeah.
mommy say, that kind of thing. And I commend you for that. There are
Yeah.
very few people that I know of who do what you've done.
Who will do that? No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Having
Very,
said that,
very
it's not
few.
criticism, it's a
Thank
very good
you.
strength.
Yeah.
But because
Thank you so
of
much.
your qualities, I'm worried that you carry on to be in his life, and you need to know where to draw the line.
Yeah.
There was a pattern of escalation where you had this conversation. He could hear you when you say no. He stays back and he waits for you. Then comes a point where he gets a phone call from back home, and then decides to become very violent. Things went downhill. There are
Yeah.
points of escalation with people with mental health, and the fact that you've left him, you need to manage what type and level of communication you have with him. And don't be fooled to think that yes, it's changed medication and things will change overnight. It may never change. And there may be points where he becomes very unwell and looks for you because you're the only familiar person in Canada that he knows of. So we have heard stories, and I just pray and hope this doesn't become your story. We've heard stories in the UK where, acquaintances who have mental health finds their ex-partners and become violent and do very horrible things. I hope that
you need to be careful.
So
You have to be absolutely careful. Yeah.
I know where to draw the line. That's my contribution. But you are a wonderful person, and I hope God gives you the grace to raise your child.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Christine. I appreciate your call. You are my first caller. That was a first-class call. Oh my God, you are a proper Britico. Your English phone is up there. Thank you so much, Christine. Wonderful points. Please, guys, especially those in Canada that knows legislation, lawyer, if you are a lawyer in the house, you have some advice about how she's going to apply for her PR. Somebody asked a very, very important question. Cooley said, is it possible for the marriage to be declared null and void on the basis that the husband lacked the requisite mental capacity to contract the marriage as at the time they was entering into it? That's a really, really good question, but I don't know. Because we've had a lady on the show who was asking for annulment a long time ago. Hers was that it was a deception. The marriage was, remember that lady that was deceived, and the baba came from Nigeria, used that to just bring his family. What we found out later was that annulment is usually very long and complicated in Canada. So I don't know if that will work, but it's it's a good question. I really, really like that. All the Rwandans and East African people in the house, please, you guys, come come and help your sister. Thank you very much, Soaks. I've got you. Please mute yourself and let's meet you.
Hi, Auntie B. Good evening.
Welcome.
Thank you for your platform.
You're welcome.
So, Lily, you just kept me on the edge. Your story kept me on the edge of my chair. I was like, oh my God, what is going to happen next? But I must commend you on your braveness, and you knew when to draw the line. Your story is a love story. I don't know if it still happens though, but you really had so much love against all odds. Your mother said, don't go in. I'm having this feeling that something is wrong. But you still went. But this is just a lesson to all of us. We once loved. There's nobody that won't say that they never loved endless love. Remember that movie, Endless Love? You die hard love. But growing up, it doesn't end well.
Never ends well. Forget that love.
Yes, but you know what? Yes, Romeo and Juliet. Yes, Auntie Bibe, you know what? God knew that women know how to love. That was why he said, husband, love your wives. He didn't tell us women to love, but women is difficult for us to submit. God said, you
know how
women
that love on our head. Women are love.
Yes. And the submission that God said we should submit, we don't like to submit. So if we can go back to the Genesis, to the Bible, we have to learn to submit and appreciate a man that will love us, not we going to love a man. Because when you love a man too much, in fact, when love is there and the woman is the one loving, you see how it ends.
Yeah.
But I want to thank God for Lily, she knew, she had so much boldness to say, is enough, and she drew the line. So we should also learn as ladies, young ladies in the house, single ladies in the house, when your parents tell you that there's something that is fishy about this family that you're going in, please just take it easy. Go get a Coke or something and say, okay, mommy, I listen to you. Don't rebel. Because at the end of it is that mother's neck or lap that you will still lean on and cry to.
Yeah.
But I want to thank God that Lily, go back to your church that you once were.
Yeah.
And meet up with your friends, because it's not good to be alone, because you just had a baby. I suffered what they call postpartum depression after I had my second child. I didn't have anybody. And this mental illness that Africans will keep telling you that, oh, it's an Oyibo thing, it's an Oyibo. I kept on saying something about me is not right. I kept on asking people. My husband is a medical doctor. I kept on asking people, something about me is not right. A lady now said, hey, Soaks, this is your second week of having this baby. Okay, it happened to her. This is what I'm going to help you do. If it gets to the third week, they'll put you on medication. Oh, my husband was telling me that, so there's something about you that is not adding up. I said, I know. I'm not feeling it. I could not touch my baby. I will look at her, beautiful girl. I will look at her and walk and pass. I don't know how that girl managed to feed. My husband will come back from work. He will nurse the baby. He will do this until this Lara, every other person that will tell me, they say African people don't go through this, until this Lara of a lady
That's a big lie.
Yes,
we don't know what it is. When we don't have a name for something, we just assume that it's not real.
It's not real.
It's just like saying that I saw somebody today that was telling me that in Africa there's no dementia. That you have dementia.
There is dementia. That's what when older people have dementia, that is when they say all the wickedness that the woman did in her past, that is what she's coming to confess. But they don't know that it's dementia that person has. So Lily, please try, meet up with your friends, go out to the mall. I know your energy level was really drained, because I know this guy really drained you. So replenish yourself. I know with a child, if you can put her in a sitter, in a babysitter, just replenish yourself. You sound so calm and gentle. It shows how beautiful your heart is. But the only thing was that you love the wrong person. And we were not the Holy Spirit to change anybody. So you did what you could do. So give yourself a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Thank God you listened to your mom and you went to school and you completed your education. I must commend you on that, because nobody can take your education, especially in the Western world. It will give you a platform, and eventually you become a senior level officer, and you do well. You take care of yourself and your child. And that's all I have to say. Thank you for giving us the opportunity.
Thank you so much. Thank you, my dear. I hope your baby that you were talking about was ages ago, right? It's not recent.
Oh, yes. Oh, she's a big girl that she doesn't want to go to law school anymore. She says she wants to do IT now.
You're just talking about her like it was yesterday. Hey, mommy's girl. Oh, thank God.
She's so beautiful. So beautiful. Alisa is her name. Beautiful, intelligent girl.
Thank you. God bless her.
Thank God.
Give her love to Alisa.
Okay. Bye-bye.
It's always a pleasure to have you, sis. Thank you. God is blessing us today with really good quality callers. Oh my God. I'm feeling the encouragement, just encouraging her. If you just want to encourage her, you just want to pray for her. This woman went through it all. Somebody in the comment section is saying that it's called postnatal depression. They also call it postpartum. Okay. That is also the name. All right. It's both names. It's both postnatal and postpartum depression. They call it. It's the baby blues. Some people will tell you it's baby blues when people just give birth.
Hello.
Yeah. Gigi Gibson. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, sis. Speak a bit louder so I can hear you.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hello.
I'm hearing you.
I can't hear anything. Can you hear
I'm
me?
hearing you. Can you hear us? Yeah? Gigi, can you hear me?
Hello.
Okay, maybe you come back again, Gigi. Let me add Maggie. Yeah, hello Maggie. Unmute yourself, please. Oh, Maggie just disappeared the minute she clicked on it. Lobaton. Thank you very much for all your kind comments. Thank you for praying for her. Thank you so much. You can hear her, but I couldn't hear Gigi. Thank you for praying for her. Thank you so much. Gigi, you can hear her, but I couldn't hear Gigi. Thank you for praying for her. Thank you so much. Gigi, you can hear her, but I couldn't hear Gigi. Go on, Gigi. Gigi, please unmute yourself. Oh dear. Okay, Maggie is back. Let's try. Hi, Maggie.
Hello. Hi,
Hi,
Auntie
sweetie.
B.
Hello, sweetheart. Where are you joining us from?
I'm calling from Kitchener, Canada.
You're welcome. What did you call the name of your city?
Kitchener.
Kitchener. I don't think I've heard that one
Yes.
before. Kitchener.
It's it's 45 minutes away from Toronto.
I see. Wow. You have a lot of kitchen
Yeah.
there. You have a lot of kitchen in that place. Oh, you're welcome, sweetie. What do you have to say?
Yeah. Thank you so much for giving me the platform.
You're welcome.
First of all, I would like to thank Lily for sharing her story. You are such an amazing, strong young lady. I can tell from your voice that you're still young. And I really want to applaud you for your strength that you are able to go through this whole process. It's not easy to deal with mental health or with people living with mental health.
Yeah.
I really, really want to applaud you for knowing the limit and being able to hold yourself accountable and say enough is enough and allowing yourself to step out. And I know that you have also outweighed the disadvantage that your child was also facing, because it's not only you, it was also affecting the child, whether we think that the child is still young, but the child was also being affected for as long as they are in that environment.
Yeah.
So I would like to really applaud you for your strength. So I don't have much to say, but what I want to say is that you can actually get legal aid assistance to get a lawyer for your case.
Oh, she can get legal aid. She can get legal aid.
Yeah.
Okay.
She can be able to get legal aid.
Okay.
And also you can look up our advice that you find counseling for yourself. Being through that whole episode, you were going through that as well as your spouse was going through that. So it is very, very important for you to find some sort of counseling. And after you visit your counselor, make sure that you keep each and every receipt of your visit, because it's going to help you towards your immigration case. So you keep all of those things with you. And also make sure that you take your child for checkup, because the father was diagnosed with schizophrenia, and that can be transferable. It have like 70 to 80%, I think, chances of being transferable. So make sure you take your child for.
Is that? Oh my God! Is that for real? Somebody has been saying it on the comment section.
Yeah, it is. So it is very, very important that you take your baby for some medical checkup. And just the whole threads from him talking about the child using those
Somebody says she cannot get legal aid and she becomes a citizen. In the comment section, they're saying she cannot get legal aid.
No, she can't, because even refugee people, they are not citizens, they still get legal aid. Okay. So I'll advise that, many people can say a lot of things, but it's always the best to find professional
The truth. Yeah,
advice.
yeah. Are you
So
in the
we can
WhatsApp
all.
group, Maggie? In our Canadian WhatsApp group? Are you there?
No.
Okay, if you would like to connect, because the thing about this show is that it's not just to come, it's very, very good that you guys are coming on to give advice, support her, but also
Mm-hmm.
ongoing support, follow up is very important. If it's something that you think you can do, I will
Yeah.
be happy to introduce you to Lily, please. Yeah?
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
willing. I'm a graduate of social service work, so
right.
I would be very willing to help
Okay.
her.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
That's great. My
So.
number is on the screen. When you finish talking, please take it
Mhm.
and just hit me up on WhatsApp, and then I'll link you up with her, please. Yeah?
Yeah, yes.
All right.
And I read someone was saying that people about her marriage being not dissolved due to the mental health or whatever.
Yeah.
I
Annoyed.
like mental health people can actually take decisions for as long as there's no episode of psychosis happening in those moments. So she's not like she forced anyone to marry her or anything like that. So he can
Hmm.
actually like it's adult taking adult decisions. So
Yeah, but
we
I
are
mean,
not
that's
here.
not even the point now, my dear. But
Yeah.
he was having a serious bad breakdown in the church. So he was having an
Yes.
episode right during the service. So, I mean, I don't want to. I've been seeing people saying that because somebody has mental health doesn't mean they don't have capacity. I'm ignoring it because that's not
Mm-hmm.
relevant now. What is relevant
Exactly.
is
Yeah.
the support that she needs. Okay, she just
Yes.
had a
Yes.
baby. She's on maternity leave.
Absolutely.
She
Yeah.
needs a lot of support around her. She's worried about her
Exactly.
immigration status in Canada. If marrying this
Mm-hmm.
man is going to affect it, she's worried
Mm-hmm.
about her child. She's all alone right there. So let's
Mm-hmm.
focus. I'm a solution focused person. I want to focus on solutions.
Exactly.
Solutions is what we're
Yes.
looking for.
So
Yeah.
and I don't think this case is going to affect her immigration, honestly speaking, because people don't just take decisions. I think they are going to evaluate and look at all angles.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's going to, because mental health cases in this country, they are very serious.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody going through that, definitely they are going to look at all angle, and there's a child also involved, and this child
Yeah.
is a Canadian,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't think it's going to affect her immigration cases. So Lily, I
Mm-hmm.
advise that like you don't stress so much, just
Mm-hmm.
try and find the solutions. Just get to
Yeah.
the right people, get to the professional, get a lawyer if you have to, consider legal aid, find out. Even if you are not qualified, it's better you know that you are not qualified rather than just assuming and listening to people that don't really know if you are going to qualify or not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much,
So
Maggie. Yeah.
yeah.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Bye. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Bye,
Auntie
Sydney.
B. And yeah. Bye.
You're welcome. The number is on the screen. Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah, a lot of people in the comment section are busy quoting statistics. I know you guys are trying to help, but how is it helping her? You are trying to, it can be scary with all these statistics that people are quoting about how it is likely to be hereditary. Her child will not inherit it. We decree it today. The Bible says that if two of you can agree on anything, it is established. Lily's child will not inherit it. She will not, by the grace of God. Please, I know you know all the statistics about how it is likely to be transferred, how children inherit it, but please, that's not helpful. Somebody is keep repeating it, repeating it. Oh, it is in the family. It's done, but she's not going to inherit it by the grace of God. Please, let's look for solution. Say something that will encourage her, not something that will make her afraid more. If you keep talking about how likely it is for the child to inherit it, how is that helping her? Now wow. Adewale, you're welcome, my dear.
Yeah, good evening, Auntie V. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
Good evening, Mrs. Seeley. You're really, really a very brave person because marriage itself is it's a lot of work. I mean, among people who are mentally healthy, it's a lot of work, and then we add mental illness into it. That's like so much work. It's like you're fighting two different battles, and you're not qualified to fight the very difficult one, which was the mental health he had. So that what you did there was like very, very, very brave. Like some people don't even survive it because I think while you were with him, some of his like symptoms, you would have picked it up. Like, because when people stay who are not qualified to deal with people with mental health, when they're around them, they start picking up some things from what they are doing. So I really, really, I'm really, really happy that you walked out of the marriage to, to save yourself and that of your child. So I mean, your children. I think you have two children, right? Your children.
Yeah,
So
child.
I think
It's
my
just
advice for you is, yeah. So my advice for you is, I think you should also go for like a serious psychological evaluation on your own, and also with your children, and also maybe your children also need to go for some evaluation separately, because I mean, the therapist or the psychologist needs to walk you through what happened. So they have to start helping you heal from those things, because what you went through is really, really serious. And I
mm-hmm.
think the last thing I want to say is like the lessons we should learn from from her story is like marriage does not heal people who are mentally ill. It doesn't.
Yeah,
It actually
yeah,
it makes it worse.
yeah,
It doesn't like heal them. The marriage is not going to change it. Bringing children, having children is not going to change it. Just makes it worse. So anyone if you're trying to start a relationship with someone, you need to make sure that person is mentally stable, or if the person has some like underlying mental issues, they're
yeah,
actively working on it and you can see it. It's not just that they're saying it, but you are seeing that
yeah,
they're going for help and all that. So I
yeah.
think that's what I wanted to say. Um,
Thank you so much,
yeah,
Adewale.
welcome.
I can
Um,
never fault your call. I don't know, Adewale. I can never. In fact, you always speak my mind. God bless you, Jare. Yeah. So, my people, I hope you get the point I'm trying to make here. We are trying to build a support around that. This is all what we are here for. Support, support, support. Say something that will encourage. If you live in Canada and you can provide emotional support, you can visit her to help her hold her baby for 5 minutes or 1 hour so she can sleep. You can take her out to the mall so she gets some fresh air. Please, this is the kind of support that we want. We want people who will support her the way that Joy was supported in Canada. That's what we want for Lily. Right. So please, advice, information, very useful information, and support. That's what we are here for. We are a solution focused group. By the grace of God, yes. Gigi, you're back.
Hello.
Hello, sis.
Oh, oh,
Is this your
fantastic.
first time?
This is the first time I'm calling. I always
Yes. I
make
was
comments.
thinking that oh my God, Gigi is always in the comment section, but I don't think I've spoken to you before. Oh my goodness.
You have,
You're
but you don't
welcome,
know.
sis.
You have actually spoken to me. You have met me, but I'll tell you later.
Oh, I don't this name I don't like it though. I don't like it. Why you use this name to confuse me? I don't like it. Of course, I know you.
Of course, you
I didn't
know me.
connect it's the same person till now. When you say you have actually met me, you think you can deceive me, eh?
Let's
I
keep it
got
to ourselves
you. I
then.
got you.
Shh, let's keep it to ourselves.
Okay, it's okay. Now I know. Okay, let's go on.
Okay. Um, I just want to say, Lily, well done. Well done. You've done very well. Um, I have a similar story, actually, but I think you did better than me. It only took you 2 years to get to the stage where you're annulling the marriage.
Yeah,
Mine was 14 years, and I don't want to take the focus away from you. And
yeah.
similar thing that you went through and more, because mine was extended to nearly 15 years.
Yeah. Can you
Um,
speak a bit
it
louder,
ended
please?
in 2000.
Mm.
Okay, yeah. I said you're a bit better than me in the sense that you took you about 2 years to get the courage to
Yeah,
get to this position where you're annulling the marriage. But mine, I was in it for about 14 years, and I don't want to take the focus away from you. But I want
yeah,
to just share a few things that I did that throughout that 14, 15 years, being in that marriage with someone with paranoid schizophrenia, the difference again between the two of us is the fact that I did not know. I had no idea, and everybody around did not know. So it was when I got into the marriage, 7 months after the marriage, I started experiencing certain things until, of course, it all ended. But a few things I did, which really helped me, is that even though I was isolated and people were taken away from me, I still had people that I went to, like older women I could trust, that I went to, who would support me in terms of praying for me, and in terms of just giving me the advice, people who really trusted me, because this man, without having to fault him for anything, because I would never hold him responsible for his actions. I have nothing, no ill feelings whatsoever towards him or his family, because apart from that, his family also blamed me for his condition. So I was just not dealing with him, and I was also dealing with the fact that his family were against me. So he actually ostracized me, and I didn't have friends. But somehow God managed to provide 3 people that really knew what was going on, and they provided that emotional and spiritual support that I needed. And in terms of church, for me personally, this is just my personal decision. You will not find me in an African-led church, because they did not understand the situation, and they blamed me. They felt I was prayerless. They felt I was faithless. They felt that I was not a good woman and could not keep my home and my man. So I found I had to make that decision to find myself in a church whereby they actually understand the situation I was going through. And so the pastors and the leaders were able to provide the support that I needed. Okay, so I surrounded myself with good network of trusted people who supported me. And again, like I said, you can never ever underrate the power of prayer. Prayer is so powerful. But one thing about me is that I love to pray. I love God's word. And that's the only thing I can say to you was my saving grace, my ability to sort of, and the grace to stand on God's word. I wrote journals. I would write my thoughts. I would write my prayers. I would read them over to myself, because I knew 15 years in that condition must have affected me in one way or the other. So I thank God for what Adewale said. I went for counseling. I went for counseling until to date. I still go for counseling whenever I feel that I need a little bit more psychological help or mental health or emotional health. I check in and go for counseling, 1 session, 2 sessions, 4 sessions from time to time. So definitely there's a need, my sister, for you to get that support. Not counseling with a pastor, not counseling with somebody you know, counseling with somebody who is a professional psychologist, trained therapist. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. And that's all really I can offer, because in terms of legal issues, to date, I don't know, I'm in England, so it's different to Canada. I still have legal battles to deal in terms of our estate and so on. And this estate were the things that I bought, things I actually acquired, but he's battling those things with me, because I was the breadwinner and everything to date. So you can't say someone who has mental illness or paranoid schizophrenia does not have capacity. It's sometimes very difficult to prove, but they do have capacity, because sometimes they can actually make decisions for themselves. It's just that sometimes when they manifest their episodes, then it's difficult. So my sister will just, what I can do from where I am from a distance is to continue to pray for you. Definitely your daughter will not inherit it in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Because there's power in our words, so we need to speak positively. So, but as she grows, please provide her the psychological support that she needs and the prayers. and for yourself as well. So just continue to do what you're doing, and thank goodness you've come to this platform, and you're going to get all the support you need. And those in Canada, I plead with you, please, surround Lily and just provide all the legal and all the help and even the prayer cover that she needs to be able to go through this. You will come out shining. I'm not there yet, but my life is better than it was before. So please, don't give up. God loves you. And I can tell without saying you're a very pretty woman, just hanging there. Auntie B, kisses. Mwah, 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 mwah,
Thank you. Gigi. From today is Gigi, I'll be calling you. Gigi, thank you so much. Wonderful, wonderful insight. I love what you said about not going to church to start looking for help and getting professional therapists and gets. The problem about therapy is that a lot of people who come on the show cannot afford to pay for it. And I've called and asked one day, by the grace of God, I was just begging that we need people who are trained, qualified psychotherapists to work with us. And somebody reached out here in the UK. She started working with some of the ladies now. The first lady she started working with was Mary. You guys remember Mary? Her story was quite explosive. And she said she needed therapy. And, the lady is working with a number of ladies now, but we need more. We need more people. Somebody said,
I tell you what I did. I could, at the time when everything went to a head and everything collapsed, I actually stopped working because I could not concentrate anymore. So I wasn't buoyant then. So what I did was, because I had to change my career and everything, I sourced the psychological, the counseling services within the university, so I didn't have to pay for it. Also, when I was working, I also sourced the company I worked for had that facility, so I also sourced that.
Unfortunately, the UK is so different. It's different. It's so different. But we will try. We'll try. Thank you very much, Gigi. I appreciate your call. Thank you. Yeah. Hello. Good evening.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello,
Hi.
good evening, Sister Bridgie. Long time.
I'm all right.
I haven't spoken to you. My name is Pastor Folake Hassan. I'm a retired nurse midwife, and I run a restaurant in Ontario, precisely Brampton, Ontario, Canada. I even have something to share with you since, but I've been postponing it so that you can discuss that topic. It has to do with somebody, and I'm not going to give all the labels, all that.
Hold on, my sister. I'm on live. Do you know that I'm on live?
Yes, I want to say something about that lady. I didn't join you at the beginning. I'm actually working my restaurant now.
Okay.
I'm on Bluetooth, so I am working, and I just want to say some few words. Then later we can talk.
Okay.
Concerning that lady, I just want the area she is in Ontario. If she's in Ontario, because if she's in Ontario, I can find time to go visit her, talk to her spiritually. Then all that people have said concerning saying, social worker or psychologist and all that, we'll talk about that, and then whatever we can do as I can do on my husband, we will think about it and we'll be able to support her in all the ways that God has provided for us.
Okay.
So what I just want to know is to know our location. I actually saved this particular thing on my WhatsApp. That's why people want to go call you there.
Yes.
So
okay. Yeah.
Maybe I can get the details.
Yeah. She says she lives in She says she lives in Newfoundland. Newfoundland.
Oh my God! That's
Is that far?
That is Oyinboconnect, that place.
Chineke.
Newfoundland. Jesus is that place. Oh my God!
Newfoundland.
That's a very far place. Unless people in Calgary areas of Saskatchewan and all that area can get to her, to go visit her, she will hear all we are saying. But she still need that personal touch for people to go see her where she is.
Yeah.
They may not be open. Oh, involved, we'll connect her with somebody that'll be able to go there,
Yeah.
talk to her, and all the advice we have given her,
Yeah.
all the advice that she's hearing,
Yeah.
the Lord will give her enablement to be able to carry them out. In Canada, let me tell you something. I don't know of any other part of the world. I have friends in UK and everything. When it comes to women suffering, children involved, they will go to any length to help us. She will be okay by God's grace.
Amen.
I will be praying for us. Let's continue.
Amen.
I'll talk to you some other time, Sister Bridget.
All right.
Love
Thank
you.
you
God
so much.
continue to bless you and give you strength to continue what you're doing.
Amen.
You're doing a good job, baby.
Thank
Bye
you.
now.
Thank
Bye.
you, sis.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Oh dear, my people. Newfoundland. She's in Newfoundland. Do we know anybody in Newfoundland? If you're watching this later and you live around Newfoundland in Canada, please reach out to me. Okay? The time difference in Canada does not usually make people have the time to join us when we are doing live because they will be at work when we are in the evening. So please, if you are picking this up later, this is my contact details. Send me a WhatsApp message, a voice note, whatever, an email. And we are trying to build a support system around Lily. She's all by herself with a baby that is less than 1. Okay, she's nursing and she needs support. She needs a therapy. We are looking for therapists to job. Don't we have people who are psychotherapists? Since I have been asking only one person, we need lawyers who will do some pro bono work. You should come and do the work of God. Come and support your fellow brethren, support your community. It is the work of God, though. Please, my people, come forward. If you live in Canada on this occasion, come forward. We need some legal advice for Lily. We need therapists. We need people that will provide emotional support. You kuku know. We do that a lot. There's a reason why we travel. Like we are going this Friday now, we are going to Germany. There's a reason why we do it. It's not because we just want to be waka waka. You don't know what emotional support is. Like having, even if it's just a day or two, just having people around you, hugging you, encouraging you, it goes a long way. And from that, the friendship continues. The people, they get to know the person, and from there they can talk to them, they visit them, they call them up, they pray with them. This is all it is all about. So I'm calling on all of you that will be picking this up later because we are rounding up now. We don't have a lot of people in Canada at the moment online, but I believe that they will watch it later. I might need to put Canada on the title and also share it in the group. Please come forward and help a sister. She's only a very young lady. You can see the way she talks, yeah. Which one is AIPT? I'm not sure I know that one. Nana, which one is AIPT? I'm not sure. If you know about it, please send me a link of it so we can share it. We have so many people that are waiting, that are looking for therapy, that cannot afford it. So yeah, whatever you can do to support, it will greatly be appreciated. See, there is nothing better if you really want to serve God. We are religious people. You really want to serve God. This is how you serve God. This is how you serve God. This is how you worship God. Please, my people, let us help the people that need it. All right? Let us be our brother's keeper. She is not Nigerian, but she is a part of us. She's a part of us. We are one people. We are separated by borders, but that does not matter. So it doesn't matter where you come from. Please reach out. I want to end by saying what Matthew 25:36 said. When he was talking to them, he was talking about how I needed clothes and you clothed me. I needed food and you fed me. I was ill and you visited me. I was in prison. And, Jesus was sharing that parable with them and they said, Lord, when did we see you do this? We didn't see you. We never visited you. He said, in as much as you do it to the least amongst you, you've done it unto me. Okay? You've done it for me. So this is service. This is love. And this is what, if you are a Christian, or if you are somebody that say you know God and you love God, this is what the love is all about. So, guys, let us rise up and support. Canadian did exceedingly well with Joyce, and I'm trusting God and praying that that they will still rise up and support this young lady. And of course, if you are from Rwanda or that area, East Africa, please reach out to me. I will link you up so that we can continue the support. Oh, Monilala said, you were going through so much when we went to see Ella in London Bridge, and it helped you with how you were feeling. Really? Wow. The support was amazing. Yes, yes. Oh, it was amazing indeed. And you should have seen Birmingham. Birmingham was something else. Yeah. These meetings are just not for fun, for us to have a good time. They are so powerful emotionally, connecting and praying and doing so many things together for the ladies. So yeah, by the grace of God, we'll do everything we can and to help and support Lily. Thank you very much, everyone, for being here. And my apologies for all the audio. It can only get better. We move. Thank you so much. Have a good evening. And I'm back on the live stream on Thursday. So join me then at 7 p.m. Thank you very much, guys. And have a good evening or good afternoon, wherever you are. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.